going on, boys? Today's video is something a little bit more different, something a little bit more personal, and something I hope you guys can relate to too. And let's just get right into it. So this is the title. The title is what I'm talking about today. I'd rather die than be weak. And you guys thinking that I'm exaggerating or I'm making it up or something like wild, but I'm being genuinely serious. And you're probably thinking, what do I mean by weak? Oh my, is it physically, mentally, emotionally? It's all of the above. Being that version of weak, it makes me not suicidal. It just makes me like I don't want to exist in a world where I'm that person, and it's almost a motivator to not to do the work, because every time I do something that hard, it makes me a stronger person, and like it strengthens your mind. So yeah, so I'd rather die than be weak, and this is something I've learned in the last day or two from personal experiences, failures, and this is no disrespect to my friends or anything like that, because they're all great people. I'm not saying they're weak. I'm not saying anyone else is weak. I value a person not through their strength or weakness. I value through their individuality and their uniqueness, and every person's different because God makes us all different. I don't value people through how strong they are. Obviously, if someone's strong, you can tell it's okay. I'm just gonna say the word aura, but yeah, they've almost got an aura, but yeah, not freaking brain rot, but yeah. So I was at my friend's house. Well, actually, let me start from the beginning. So on Thursday night, I had Friday off. So today's Saturday. I had yesterday off, and on Thursday night, I got back from the gym at like 7:30. I was like doing work. I was gonna work till like 9:30, so I could just wake up at 5:30 on Friday and just grind all day. But because I heard at school there was going to be like a sleepover at my friend's house. I know I'm saying the word sleepover, it sounds really childish, but what am I supposed to call it? Like, bro. And then, yeah, so there was just going to stay at my friend's house. And like, I wasn't planning to go, but it was just kept reappearing in my mind. And again, no disrespect to like these guys, they're good people. And again, they're not weak. I'm just saying that environment. So wait, let me get back to where I was. 1 second. Yeah, so I was doing the work, and I was just like, I kept reappearing in my mind. I was thinking, okay, maybe a bit of social time wouldn't be bad. And looking back at it now, it was a very emotional decision. It wasn't something that I should have done. I'm not saying that I think having a social life is so important. I think a lot of guys on self-improvement, like, they think monk mode and blah, blah, blah. No, having a social life is very important. There's also a balance to that. And it's not like I haven't really been out in like 2 months, really, like out like with friends in like 2 months. But I'm not complaining. I'm saying that is a period of my life that I'm in right now where I don't really have time for that. And that's fine. I'm fine with that. It's not something I crave. I have quite a lot of social interaction with people throughout the day anyways, throughout the week. But yeah, so I decided to go, and I pulled up, and after like a few hours of being there, like, again, no disrespect to them, but that environment that I was in, it wasn't a bad environment. Like, okay, for me, it was a bad environment. It just makes me feel like that old person, that weaker person that I hated. I hated my that weaker version of myself, and like, I just felt so horrible within myself, because I knew this isn't, because when I made that decision to go, it was my weaker self speaking, and it was I disregarded any purpose in my body and in my mind, and the purpose that was in the forefront of my mind at all times was just vanished for that those few hours, and then it reappeared because I forgot. And it was an emotional decision, and it came back to me. I'm thinking, this isn't aligned with my purpose. This isn't who I want to be. No disrespect to them, great people, but I think everyone has different values. Everyone has different goals, and like, I'm gonna respect anyone who wants to become a doctor, and I think anyone should respect anyone who wants to become an entrepreneur, but I guess that's not really how it works. But for me, I respect, if you got a dream, then chase it. So like, you don't always have to be around people that like are fully aligned with you, like not like, I mean, that want to do the exact same thing as you. Not that obviously you want people around you that are winners and aligned with you, but you want an environment of people that like are different. Yeah, sorry, a little bit of a tangent. But yeah, so yeah, great people, but it just, that environment made me weaker, and I was just, yeah, thinking to myself, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with my life? And then when I got back in the morning, because I planned for Friday to be literal grind day, because I had the day of school, I was just gonna grind like all day, and then I had work in the evening for my job, so I was gonna grind all day from 5:30 to like 12 hours really, and then go to work my job. But I got home at 9 because we went bed at like 5. So the time I was planning to wake up, I went to sleep like that, and I was cooked. I was genuinely cooked. I got like 3 hours sleep. I was just like not even proper sleep. It was broken as hell, bro. But I was cooked, and I got back. I did actually do my habits because I had the mindset. Because I realized I need to fix my life. Because I was like, what am I doing? So I realized the mistake I made. I was dwelling on it all day Friday though, until the evening. But yeah, I was dwelling on it, thinking, oh, I failed. But I've now learned from it. I've realized it was a failure that I must learn from. Failure is necessary. So I realized that, okay, it's gonna happen. Failure is necessary, but getting back up is mandatory. So I just had that in my mind afterwards. But yeah, so I had a cold shower. I meditated. I read. I ate some food, and I was like, okay, let me have an hour nap, because I was genuinely like tired as hell, bro. And then I was like, okay, I'll do like a decent amount of work, and then go to work on my job. But after I went bed at 12 for a nap, and I was planning to sleep till 1. Bro, I woke up at 3:15 or something. I was like, what? I didn't even hear my alarm go off. I don't remember turning it off. I don't remember anything. Like, I just woke up. And like my day, like it was just cooked. Like the whole day was cooked. Like I was planning to grind, and it's all because my weaker self and my actions led me to feel weak, and I let my weaker self choose what to do, and let my emotions override my logical thought processes. And sorry, my throat's kind of sore. But yeah, so that feeling, it's worse than any type of pain, physical pain I've ever experienced. And I'm not saying like, okay, I feel like that's worse than if I was hit by a car. And genuinely, like when you're inside yourself, when you know you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, it just, like, obviously you should allow some leisure in your life, some sort of freedom, because we're human in a sense. But at the same time, you need to spending like majority of your time just grinding, like just absolutely grinding, no matter what you're grinding in. If you want to become a pro basketball player, you go do that, bro. You should spend all your time doing that. You don't want to be a jack of all trades and master of none. Like, I mean, that phrase is very popularized, but yeah. So that feeling of being weak, it was genuinely like this is the lesson I learned. This is a lesson I want to share with you guys through my kind of personal story. I know that was like a long freaking process of me just yapping about what was I even yapping about, like what I was doing. But yeah, what I learned from this, again, I've been speaking throughout this time, that feeling of weakness was so, like, it made me feel like it was like imposter syndrome. So I'm sure you guys know what that is. Like, I'm not really gonna explain it, but it was like imposter syndrome, where I was like, what am I doing here? This isn't me. Because I've done so much stuff that I'm not that person anymore. And I was that weaker version of myself when I went into that environment at my friend's house. Again, no disrespect to them, great people. But I became that weaker version of myself. And that weaker version of myself, I hated. So therefore, I hated myself in that moment. And I think obviously I don't hate myself. I love myself. And again, oh, that's so cringe. No, bro. The whole self-improvement journey, if you don't love yourself, you're cooked. It's a whole evolutionary journey of you learning to love yourself. And it's so no, bro, stop that childish crap and just understand you have to love yourself. To progress, you have to love yourself. The biggest motivator, one of the biggest motivators, if you're not gonna be motivated if you can't. Motivation isn't necessary, but you're not gonna be disciplined if you don't love yourself. You have to love yourself enough to get up in the morning and chase after your goals. You have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. Obviously, it becomes a habit after time, But you have to have enough self-respect and self-love and want inside of you for something to get up every day at 5:30 in the morning. So, like, you get where I'm coming from, that self-love. And I don't hate myself, but I hated myself in that moment. And I don't ever want to feel like that again. And I'm being so serious. I don't want to ever feel like that again. Obviously, it will happen again. Because, not saying that particularly, but failure is mandatory. Getting back up is necessary. Oh, wrong way around. But yeah, like that made me just, like, not suicidal, but it just made me want to, like, die. Like, it felt worse than any type of death, anything I've ever, like, felt. And the lesson I learned, was that I'm not a weak boy, and I've changed myself. I'm not a weak. You change my identity. I've changed my beliefs. That I'm not that person anymore. That when doing things about that weaker version of myself that I used to do, I feel like it just feels, again, imposter syndrome, irregular, out of place. And I think this should be kind of universal, the feeling of weakness. Why would you want to be weak? Like, because when you're physically weak, you can fix that with mental strength. But when you're mentally weak, that mental strength has to come from within, and it takes a lot of time. Because if I'm physically weak, like, I'm not the strongest. Like, I'm on my own gym journey at this point in time, but it starts with mindset. And people think, oh, going to the gym just, like, it's kind of easy. It starts with mindset. Even, like, those idiots who go to the gym like that don't really have mindset, that, like, all, like, you know, this guy, I'm not going to get into that, but those people who go to the gym and, like, that aren't, like, have the craziest mindset, they still have a level of mental strength that they don't really show to anyone else, because they're going to the gym. And, like, even though I'm not, like, the strongest right now, like, I know I will become, stronger, because I have the mental strength to keep putting in the reps without seeing results instantly. And that's, like, delayed gratification. But if it was, like, because this happens to a lot of people when they first start going to the gym, like, oh, I'm not seeing results, because they're mentally weak. They're not training their mind, they're only training their body. So it just becomes, like, they just give up. They give up. But yeah, so you need mental strength, and that mental weakness inside of me just made me want to, like, freaking, it was horrible. I'm gonna keep saying and repeating it. It was genuinely horrible. And again, I can't dwell on it, and I'm not gonna dwell on it, because I've dwelled on it in the last day or so. And again, I've accepted that it's a failure and I must learn from it. And it is God teaching me a lesson. And I understand that I wasn't just disrespecting myself by doing what I did. And again, you're probably thinking I'm exaggerating, or you just went to your friend's house, bro. But bro, like, you're deeping it. But, like, life is for me, it's, if I don't do the shit, then I'm fucked. If I don't do the stuff, then I'm done, bro. Like, if I don't do it, then I'm messed up. Because, again, mental strength comes from just doing the stuff you're gonna say you're gonna do, keeping to your word. If you don't keep to your word, then you're just gonna chip away at your mind. Me saying that I'm gonna do something and not doing something, it just makes me weaker. And the same goes for you, bro. So, like, when I do something, and if I say I'm gonna do something and I do something, then that just builds that trust inside myself. It makes me mentally stronger. But, like, when it's like I'm at war with myself. And, like, I'm not saying that, like, it is you versus you. It's you and you. You should love yourself. Like I was saying, like, it is you versus you. In a sense of, like, your stronger self versus your weaker self. Not, like, you know what I mean? Like, your stronger self versus your weaker self. So when, like, I'm at war with my weaker self, because in order to become 10k a month me, I've already said this in previous videos, but in order to become 10k a month me, I must become that, I must destroy that weak version of myself and become that person who's capable of making 10k a month. And yeah, so I'm at constant war with that weak version of myself. So when I let it win, like, the battle, like, when I let it win a battle, and I'm using this metaphorical language, but when I let it win a battle of, like, okay, for an evening where I just be weak and let my weak self win, like, say I'm just scrolling instead of doing the work, when I let it win, it just chips away at your mental strength, it chips away at your identity, it chips away at your trust. And that, like, it takes a lot of self-awareness to realize that that like what you're doing is wrong. And I'm glad I have that self-awareness, and I'm glad that I can understand that that's weak, and I'm glad that I can understand. It doesn't take a freaking monkey to understand that what you're doing is like not productive and not helping you in any, or beneficial in any sense or form. But a lot of people are blind and glorify these pleasures. And I know this isn't kind of to do with the video, but it's something I've discovered recently. And again, a little pro tip for you guys, more mindset stuff. So with these pleasures, and you're struggling with like an addiction, or just stop like struggling with an addiction, and you're like eating, say it's like junk food, and say it's like McDonald's, like you have to have junk food like 3 times a week. Yeah, that's like your addiction. You have to have it 3 times a week. And like McDonald's, KFC, or sweets and blah blah blah, chocolate. And the reason why you're struggling is because you're saying you hate it, and no, realistically you like it. We all like the taste. We think we like the taste of junk food or blah blah blah. And so realistically, you still think that it's an amazing thing. That's why, like, because you're getting the dopamine from it. You're getting the dopamine from doing scrolling, junk food, blah blah blah. Like, you're getting the dopamine, and a way to get rid of this is by stop glorifying these pleasures. So like, I see people like saying, "Oh, I want to quit scrolling on TikTok," but then they like glorify TikTok. Like, okay, I know, well, Amen, what do you mean by glorify? I mean, like, they just idolize TikTok in a sense where it's like, oh yeah, TikTok's so good. Oh yeah, did you see this on TikTok? Oh, like making it so a part of their life, making it part of their routine. And they're like, yeah, so what you have to do is you have to like look at TikTok and think, realistically, it's just an app on my phone. I have so many apps on my phone. It's just an app on my phone where I watch short form videos. When you strip, okay, that's like, and what? It's an app on my phone that watch short form videos, and I can search things up and blah blah blah. Cool. That's literally all it is. When you break things down, this isn't first principle reasoning, but you can sort of translate it into your like, stop doing the things you don't want to do. When you break things down to their bare bones, when you like strip, because this was like in Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, when you strip pleasures to their bare bones, like you stop glorifying them and actually look at them for what they are. Like, look at something for what it is, not for who you are. Again, another quote. Look at something for what it is, not who you are. Stop attaching who you are to to a task. Stop attaching who you are to what you're doing. Because if you go into something thinking, oh, I'm not say you're going into a race saying I'm not a good runner, then it's just gonna ruin your chances. So yeah, you have to strip things down to their bare bones and stop like viewing them as something amazing. Like, okay, back to the example I was originally using. If, for example, junk food, okay, what is it? Junk food is just all this processed, synthesized, red 40 seed oil crap. I'm not gonna get into the freaking health freaking side of stuff, but yeah, it's just this you know it's bad for you, but when you really just break it down into what it is, and I don't think junk food is the best example, even like, okay, TikTok, it's just what it is. It's so simple to stop, because you stop viewing it in such a positive light. Because again, we're in a world and society where it's glorified, and it's like almost it is normalized to do these things that aren't good for us. Like, yeah, it's just mainstream. Everything's been put into the mainstream media that it's normalized to do stuff. And maybe I sound like a conspiracist, maybe I don't, but accept what you want and don't. But yeah, so just look at what it is and stop, because then you'll stop. What did I just say? What? I think that is the cue to end the video. It's been like 20 minutes of me talking. I don't even know, bro. I've literally been working all day, guys. So cut me a break. But I'm thinking of doing something different for the outro. Let me think. What should I do? Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys, even though it was kind of more personal, towards the end, I dropped quite a lot of value, I think. A lot of quotes, a lot of value, Might have heard it, might have not heard it. Take what you want from it. Maybe even write some notes down. I'm not saying I'm some inspirational kind of guy, but just, you know, take what you want from the video. It's not just for me, it's for you guys as well. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed. I really hope you guys take some advice. I know this was about my personal kind of stuff. Like half the video was just about me speaking about like what I learned. But I think it's quite relatable. I may be it may sound a bit extreme, but being that weak version of myself just so horrible. It makes me want to die. And it's simple. Strength is the only thing that matters. And that again sounds stupid, but if you're loved by everybody, then you're respected by nobody. So yeah. Anyways, guys, yap. Have a good day. Do the work. I don't care if your whole family's just tied to the work. Like, it doesn't matter how you feel. Just do the work. And I'm gonna keep saying it. And that's the new outro. Do the work. Just do the work. There's nothing stopping you from doing the work. The only thing stopping you is your mind. So, enough said. Have a good evening, guys. Peace.